Los Angeles real estate, where are we at? Are we in a buyer's market? Are we headed towards a buyer's market? Are we headed towards a crash? Well, guess what, folks? Things have actually picked up. More home buyers are coming out at open houses, and I'm Corrie Sommers, your local Los Angeles realtor. Today we're going to dive into the monthly market update. So take a moment to gather some stuff for notes. I will be right back, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, take this moment to click the subscribe button and bell for updates. 2025 has been a really odd year when it comes to real estate. We had the big stall this summer, which happened nationwide, but especially here in Los Angeles. Condos were hit even harder than the single family homes, but they were all hits. And now we are transitioning. We have been in a balanced market the last month, still relatively in a balanced market, but we are definitely transitioning into a full buyer's market. We have seen price reductions continue each month, and we've seen a decline in the number of homes that have come to market. Again, I'm Corrie Sommers, your local Los Angeles realtor, and the big question on people's mind is, are we headed to a crash? What exactly is going on? We keep hearing about the cost of housing and how there's so much inaffordability when it comes to housing, which is partially the real big issue, the affordability of housing. But the other really big issue is that 48% of all mortgages in America are owned by corporations. Private equity has a grip of the housing market. The ownership by private equity is up to 48%. I really want that to sink in. 48% of all homes, be it condos, single family homes, new construction coming to market, and apartments are owned by private equity. Clearly the goal is to turn this entire nation into a nation of renters, eliminating the opportunity that has been a part of the American dream of growing wealth through homeownership. Take a pause, because this is just a topic that really gets me riled up, and you're going to hear me talking more and more about this because the alarm bells need to be sounded. People need to understand this is a very critical time in America's history for you to buy if you don't already own, and for us to collectively give pushback with our elected officials to stop this type of ownership by private equity. That being said, this month some reports came out that some people thought a 50-year mortgage was a good solution. Now, clearly, this was very ill-advised, and the reality is 50-year mortgages have been around for over 20 years. Back when I was working as a loan officer, there were 50-year mortgages, and they're not a very popular product, and that's for a very good reason. On average, a 50-year mortgage costs you 1/4 to 1/2 point higher on your interest rate. So you really got to stop and think about that for a second. If you're paying 1/4 point to 1/2 point higher on your interest rate for your loan to be spread out over 50 years, that means you have an added 20 years of payments. So I want to give a mathematical example. Let's say you're buying your first home here in Los Angeles and it's a purchase price of $1.8 million, and you've saved $200,000 to put down, which is a little bit more than 10%. 10% would be $180,000, but you put down $200,000 and you get a 30-year fixed loan with an interest rate of about 6.5. With taxes and insurance, your payment would be approximately $12,668.09. The total interest you would pay over that 30 years would be $2,040,710.60. So $2,040,710.60. Now, one of the things I always share with my clients is that you can shave off 7 years of interest payments and of collective payments on your mortgage loan by paying 2 extra payments a year. Most people who are W-2 employees get 2 months out of the year where they make an extra paycheck. Those months are May and August. So if you take that money and apply it to your mortgage, then you will trim off 7 years. It's a very powerful thing. I always give this spreadsheet calculator to my clients, and this allows you to play with it. You can backtrack that, figure it out if you just paid extra monthly to get to those 2 extra payments a year, or if you have a goal in mind of wanting to pay your home off in 17 years or 20 years, what would it take? So let's go to the 50 years mortgage. So same example, a $1,800,000 home, putting $200,000 down. And let's just say with the 50-year mortgage, it bumps your interest rate up a half a point. So instead of 6.5%, you're at 7%. The monthly payment, including taxes and insurance, is $12,752.02. That's actually $100 more than the 30-year loan. Interesting. And in some price points of homes, it might actually reduce. But here's the critical part. The interest you would pay on a 50-year mortgage for that $1.8 million property is $4,176,209.16. You're literally paying double with the interest. For this very reason, I've never believed a 50-year product is good. It's not something I ever encouraged anyone to use when I was working as a loan officer, and it's something to this day that I do not recommend. All right, so I had to get that out of the way. 2 big issues: private equity, 50-year mortgages. That said, where is our Los Angeles real estate market at today? Are we increasing with inventory? Is there less inventory? Are prices softening? Are they coming down? Are there more price reductions? Well, we're going to go over all of that. As you know, I track 5 stats in the single family housing section of the market here in Los Angeles, and it's what we need to look at to really understand what's going on in our market. So I am going to go over all of Los Angeles, Toluca Lake, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, Encino, and the San Fernando Valley, and then go over the hill into Santa Monica, Brentwood, and Beverly Hills. So let's start with the total number of homes available on the market the last 30 days. So this is the November monthly market update, but we always track the month prior. So in the month of October, we had 63,188 homes on the market. Now, the prior month, it was 63,788 homes on the market. So that's actually a decline of 600 homes. When it came to the month of October in Toluca Lake, there were 33 homes on the market. Studio City had 166 homes on the market. Sherman Oaks was 249 homes on the market, followed by Encino at 235. When we went over the hill into Santa Monica, that number went to 112 homes on the market, followed by Brentwood at 201 homes on the market, and then Beverly Hills at 126 homes on the market. Now, the average days it takes for a home to sell at this point in time, meaning opening an escrow, you've got an accepted offer. Toluca Lake was 74 days, Studio City 51, Sherman Oaks 40, Encino 46, Santa Monica 22, Brentwood 51, and Beverly Hills 77. So earlier I was saying that on average right now it's 2 to 3 months, and this is pretty consistent. Of course, there's some parts of the city of Los Angeles that are now actually in a buyer's market. That tends to be the outerlying areas like West Hills and some of these pockets that are surrounding the whole, like I just said, the outerlying areas, if you will. Let's go into the demand. So the demand is the number of property that's actually in contract in the month we are tracking, which again, this is the November market report. So we were looking at October's numbers. And for Toluca Lake, there were 9 homes in escrow. In Studio City, there was 27. Sherman Oaks, 48, followed by Encino with 35. Santa Monica was 35. Brentwood was 30. And Beverly Hills was 18. So let's talk inventory this year compared to last year. In October of 2024, there was 59,125 homes available for sale on the market. For this October, it was 63,188. That was actually up 6% from last year. But again, we've had year over year where we've had declining inventory. So while this number is up a little bit, it's not up significantly. In Toluca Lake in October of 2024, there was 33 homes on the market. This October was 35. That's, again, up 6%. When we look at Studio City, last year was 173, followed by this year at 166. That's down 4%. For Sherman Oaks, last year was 213, followed by this year at 249, which was actually up 17%. So that was a little bit of a significant increase for the Sherman Oaks area. And Encino last year, in the month of October, it was 245 homes were available on the market, followed by this October, which was 235. That was down 4%. In Santa Monica, last year it was 104, followed by this year at 112, up 4%. In Brentwood last year was 108, followed by this year at 201, which is up 86%. That's really significant. Now, if we look at Brentwood has a lot of canyon areas. More homes on the market could be in direct relation to the fires and the rising costs of insurance and insurance policies being canceled. All these things can play into it, as well as migration out of California. Beverly Hills last year in the month of October was 129 homes on the market, followed by this October 126, which was actually down 2%. Now, one of the things that I've really seen some big movements on this year, starting in May, was price reductions. All of a sudden, we went up to 13%, up to 26%. And so we've been declining the last month as well as this month in terms of the number of price reductions, but let's get into that. So for Toluca Lake in the month of October of 2025, there was 9 price reductions, which is 27% of the market in Toluca Lake. For Studio City, it was 22 price reductions, which was 13% of the inventory in Studio City. Sherman Oaks, 48 price reductions, which was 19% of the inventory. For Encino, there was 38 price reductions, which is 16% of the inventory. Santa Monica was 13 price reductions, which is 12% of the inventory, followed by Brentwood at 23 price reductions, which is 12% of the inventory again, and then Beverly Hills 12 price reductions, which is only 10% of inventory. But when it comes to Los Angeles, as a total, all of the homes in our multiple listing service, known as the MLS, there was 10,545 price reductions out of 63,188 homes available for sale, which is a total of 16%. So as I mentioned, we saw this kind of like pendulum swing where we started with 13% of price reductions swinging all the way up to 26%. And now we're kind of moving back this way. So we're not headed to a crash, but we're definitely seeing that softening. We definitely will transition into a buyer's market. But what's really important right now, if you're a home buyer looking to buy, is that things that have sat on the market at the aspirational price of the home sellers, they've probably had a price reduction. And if they haven't, and it's been on the market for 2 months or 3 months, the chances of there being some negotiation is higher. Now, if you're a home seller looking to buy if you're a homeowner looking to sell your home right now, I really want to encourage you to have the conversations with your agent about the comparables. Your agent should do a full market analysis and provide you comparable homes and show you what has sold. Now, the time for that aspirational pricing has passed, and if you set an aspirational price, your home will take longer to sell. If you truly want to sell your home in a quicker period, knowing that the average right now is taking 2 to 3 months, I strongly recommend that you come in at market value or a little bit below to stir up stronger interest. Otherwise, you're going to do what we call chasing the market, which means you'll sit on the market with no offers. You'll have a price reduction. You'll sit on the market with no offers. You'll maybe have a second price reduction. You'll sit on the market with no offers. And eventually you'll have enough of a price reduction that it stimulates activity where someone will write an offer. That doesn't mean the offer is going to be what your asking price is, however. Again, we are headed to a buyer's market, and in a buyer's market, buyers have more opportunity because there are more homes for sale than there are buyers. You don't want to wait to sell your home for that buyer's market to hit if you are really trying to maximize your profit in your home. But hey, people sell homes in buyer's markets because life happens. You get married, you have a baby, you get divorced, someone dies, you need to move because of your job. So I don't want to scare you off, but I just want to give you some little free advice. Anyways, if you are considering selling and you'd like to talk and would like to explore interviewing agents, please, there's a link below for my calendar. We'll just have a quick 5-10 minute conversation and then schedule an actual consultation, time for me to come and take a look at your home and sit down with you. If you are somebody that is thinking maybe I should buy, because again, private equity currently owns 48% of all housing in America. That is a scary number. So if you're thinking about buying, regardless of where that is, regardless of what your income is, I encourage you to hop on a call with a local real estate professional. And if you're here in the Los Angeles area, you can get on my calendar. Thank you guys so much for watching. As you know, more updates always and more videos to come. And I know I was a little late into this month's market update, but there was a lot going on. Hopefully this information has been helpful to you. And as always, click subscribe and the bell for updates, as well as like on today's video.